My name's Dean Leathers, and my role in the early days of Infiniti was primarily on the product side, but I was part of the original launch team of the brand back in the late 80s. My basic responsibility was product communication, which means to create and tell the stories around the product and the brand that would be used in marketing and PR and things like that. The team that I was part of was an extraordinary group of individuals. Bill Bruce, who was the original head of the Infiniti division, inspired us to bond as a family. What was remarkable about them was the chemistry that we had. There was definitely a lot of camaraderie, a lot of fun, and a lot of hard work. Many of us still keep in touch, even today, more than 30 years later. We willingly worked the long hours, and we willingly sacrificed, in many cases, other aspects of our life because we wanted to. We didn't have to. Nobody told us to. Nobody told us what time to come in or what time to go home. We just did what we felt was necessary for our cause, for our mission. This was something that many of us, especially Bill, had wanted to do for years. But for him and for us, it was about people. It was about not just the customer, although that was at the center of everything, but the people in the brand, the people on the team. It was a very caring environment. And so that's where it transcended sort of the normal workaday relationships where you're professionally aligned and turned into some lifelong friendships. I think the role that I played was to constantly blur the line between the product, the retailer, the brand, the people. That's one of the things that I got both from Bill and from Mr. Oka, the chief designer, chief engineer on the project, was this was all one whole seamless thing called Infiniti. There was not a hard division between how we treated people with the product and how we treated them at the dealerships. When you think back to the mid-'80s, when all this started, Japanese cars and Japanese brands had just begun to earn their stripes as high-quality, high-value vehicles. The luxury brands at the time were dominated by the Europeans with Mercedes, Jaguar, BMW at the high end. And on the domestic side, you had Cadillac and Lincoln. And that was really what led to the Horizon Task Force, which was the study team to determine whether or not a Japanese brand would be viable in this country. Can we, Nissan, sell a luxury vehicle in the United States and make a go of it? Looking out to what could be, looking out to the edge, and then maybe looking a little bit farther. And that horizon idea is very applicable to the feeling that we had of not just trying to sell more cars tomorrow, but looking at the horizon and what could be. And that eventually translated into the name that we chose, the brand logo that we chose, of the roadway symbology heading out toward a horizon. No other brand had ownership in their philosophy, their core philosophy, much less in much of their marketing. And so if you look back at the definition of the total ownership experience, the major points only included one on product. Everything else was people, treatment, service. This was unheard of. And I think that was very inspiring to a lot of us, is to know that it was something different. It wasn't just another car. What I really got excited about with Infiniti was this idea of breaking the mold and doing something different. I had spent time in product planning. I had spent time in manufacturing and engineering. So I was always working on things that were next. And I loved that part of it. I loved thinking about the future. And I think what's infectious about that is this hopefulness, this idea that I can help make the future better than today. It's really gratifying. Part of the reason I'm so interested in talking about Infiniti at this time is because of my love and devotion to the people who were on that original team. It sounds cliched now because it's thrown around where it's not deserved, but it really was family. And to tell that story, to be able to represent the dozens of people that were involved at the beginning, is both a high honor and a high responsibility, because I want to get this right for them And I want to get this right for Bill and his memory so that this story does live and can help influence people in the future.